It's your buddy Horseticuffs here, and I'm doing something very special and meaningful to me today. As you see that lovely Konami symbol, I am finally getting a chance to live a childhood dream of mine, and that is to play Castlevania Rondo of Blood for the Super CD. I don't want to interrupt this amazing fucking intro with Japanese text and German speech. So I'm just going to let this play for a minute.
Die Dunkelheit trübte ihre Sinne und das Böse fraß sich tief in ihre Seelen.
It's totally metal.
Vom Wahnsinn getrieben schmiedeten sie einen Pakt mit dem Teufel. Zu später Stunde kamen sie zusammen, um gemeinsam die Mächte der Finsternis mit ihrem sündigen Blut zu rufen. Sie zu erlösen von ihrer sterblichen Existenz, den Anbeginn einer neuen Welt vor Augen. Und so begab es sich, dass nach 100 Jahren das Böse wieder Fleisch geworden war. Als unsterbliches Geschöpf der Nacht kann es die Gestalt des Wolfs, der Fledermaus oder des Nebels
annehmen. The direct English translation of all this is really goofy kind of writing, but the effect is awesome.
Der Fürst der Finsternis, Herr des Teufels Schlosses, ist auferstanden.
Okay, so here we see the title screen, and man, like I said, what a fucking... I've been dying to do this for probably... God, I don't even fucking know. I was 14 or so when this game came out, and I remember seeing previews and, you know, all the heavy hitters like EGM, Gamepro, I believe Die Hard Game Fan, and just knowing it was on a system that was never going to come here, it was never ever going to be in English, I would never get to play it, and it just, for some reason, it just captured my imagination. You know, it's like I would just sit there and I would look at those previews and I would daydream at this major entry in a major series that I would never get to play, that was so alien to my Western sensibilities, you know, that it was so controversial it would never come here. And it wasn't until I started doing this series and thinking about my poor neglected Wii U that was laying dusty in the corner, and it occurred to me, boom bam, I have the Wii Virtual Console on my Wii U, and as luck would have it, that has a bunch of games for a system that I never got to play growing up, but that I've always, much like this game, been fascinated with. TurboGrafx 16 and the TurboGrafx 16 CD. It's like a match made in heaven. So, you know, I'm just talking over some of the awesome music from this game here. So I bought this immediately upon thinking about it, and I played through a bunch of the game, and I was like, holy shit, it's better than I ever could have dreamed it would be. Look, I mean, look at this awesome stuff right here, man. Look at it. This is better than Symphony of the Night looking, you know? Look at this freaking animation. That's amazing. Look at those horses. And, anyways, so I bought this on the Wii Virtual Console, and I immediately ordered an Elgato capture card so that I could capture that. And holy crap, you know, it may have been like $150, but totally worth it, totally worth it. Look, that is amazingly beautiful. That cinematic right there. Richter, I believe. Yeah, I think that's Richter Belmont. I mean, wow. I am gobsmacked. I can't believe I'm sitting here playing Rondo of Blood after all these years. I mean, if somebody had told me, 14-year-old me, that someday I'd be playing this, I wouldn't have believed you. I could never afford any of these goofy Japanese systems. That's madness. As it turns out, the only goofy Japanese system I need is by Nintendo. wow. I can't believe. Look at how beautiful this is. Unspeakably beautiful. Those horses, they do it for me every time. Look at those ribs. Look at that animation. Oh my god. And look at this awesome intro battle with death. Every character in this game is filled with so much personality and character. And, you know, the Castlevania series has always had a lot of personality and character. It's probably one of my favorite series. But this in particular, it's so... I mean, look at that. Look at that projectile. This is so different than any Castlevania you are used to. It is like the missing link between Castlevania 3 and Symphony of the Night, you know? And it's funny because listening again to Kevin Larrabee's wonderful Back in My Play podcast, he had a guest on there from Hardcore Gaming 101, who is the de rigueur expert of Castlevania. And I did order their Castlevania book, which, you know, I'll probably do a review on once I'm done reading it when it comes in. But he was saying that this is like the spiritual prequel to Bloodlines. That there are ties between this and Bloodlines, and this is actually, this level is one of the towns from Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest. You know, that sign, I believe, is from Simon's Quest, which I've never put much time into, because when it came out when I was a kid, it was so radically different from Castlevania. But you better bet your sweet ass, I do intend to do a Simon's Quest playthrough, because it sounds so delightfully obtuse. You know, I'm a big Twin Peaks fan, so I think I've grown into the kind of person that might appreciate Simon's Quest. Anyways, look at just the raw beauty of these backgrounds, of Richter's animations, of the enemies, you know, just the sound, the vocal barks, you know, when enemies get hit, when Richter dies, when Richter gets hit. I mean, this was Konami putting the Super CD to ultimate use. You know, I mean, well, I think we all saw from Dracula X on the Super Nintendo that you could not bring this to a modern day cartridge at the time, you know, not truthfully. And the thing about this game, it's like, it's hard for me to put this game into words, and I'm playing this right here, right now for you people. The beautiful thing about this game, I mean, besides the gorgeous graphics and the tight-ass Castlevania gameplay, this, like I said, this is like a bastard child link between, you know, Igavanias and traditional Castlevanias. And there's multiple paths. There's every chance in this game that if you fall, if Medusa knocks you off a platform, you're not going to die like you think you might. It's not game over, man. Game over. It is freaking an alternate path. All different boss, different enemies, different location. It's crazy. It's crazy. But you quickly learn to change the way that you think about Castlevania. Look at this beautiful boss fight. This is the first boss here, the Wyvern. And this is the Wyvern that has destroyed Richter's hometown. And I mean, the music is just this Discordian masterpiece. And there's this giant dragon that will drag you into the heavens. And it's, holy crap, man, the axe is a must for this battle. But it's so good. It is so good. And, you know, probably no surprise, I'm a big Angry Video Game Nerd fan, okay? And watching James and Mike play through this, I don't remember when they filmed the episode, but this kind of got me scared, thinking this game was like unfairly hard, just crazy, you know. That they died a bunch. I mean, I've died a bunch too during this playthrough. I've edited out most of that, but I've gotten up to level 4 now, and I think it's tough but fair, you know, like Castlevanias generally are, you know. I mean, I died a bunch fighting this guy, but you do learn the pattern, you know. It's not busting your chops for the sake of busting your chops, you know. Italian roast. in a frozen mug. You know, I've never seen the movie or anything, but I think most parents probably have a frozen mug somewhere. Anyways, and when you defeat a boss, you get a sweet ass orb, you know, and you gotta try and get a cool pose when you get it because you freeze. I mean, I haven't beaten the game, mind you, you know, but I've played all the stages I've gotten to a bunch because, you know, I suck at video games, but I find that if you just give it the old college try and you keep going, man, you'll get through eventually. You'll power your way through. And I have not found anything I have not absolutely loved. You know, even the secondary weapons, they're different. You know, it's like, this is almost like Castlevania: The Next Generation. You know, the dagger, you know, fires out multiple. Well, you see, it's like 3 projectiles. You know, you got the Bible in this. You've got the axe, of course. I mean. And they've all got alternative, like, mega fires, you know, just by pressing the select button, you know. It's amazing to me, man. I'm, like, befuddled with joy that I'm playing this right here, right now with you people. And look. This is the first level. I mean, it's in a lot of Castlevania games, but just, it's always fun to see it again. It's like coming home, you know? This is the first level from Castlevania 1. Maybe not exactly, but it's thematically the same. It's inspired by. And it's just so simple and beautiful. You know, the foyer, or whatever they call it. I think is the official name for it, the foyer. I don't know. The ballroom? Maybe it's the I don't fucking know. Listen, I'm not fancy. But this game is fancy, and it's a luxurious experience. You know, I honestly, now I'm not a rich man. I do okay for my area, and for a dude with just a high school diploma, I do pretty damn good, I'll say, you know, in my field. But it's a tough proposition for me to spend $250 on a super CD and then probably another $200 for a copy of this. And there's no realistic way to emulate this. You know, there just isn't. It's a surprise. You know, there's really one emulator you want to go to for TG16 stuff, Utoke. You know, it's freeware. I mean, look at this shit. This is badass. It's freeware, but it doesn't really do super CD support in any way I can get it to. You know, it's I've tried burning discs and nothing. It's a lost cause. So when I found, you know, and there's an online emulator that you can play in your browser with your keyboard. That's legit, but you don't want to play Castlevania with a keyboard, dog. But so when I found a way that I could legit, I was, you know, like $400 is a lot to ask to play this game, but when I could spend $150 on an Elgato to capture it and be able to play this, I was willing to spend $150 to play this game, $160 with, you know, buying it on a virtual console. To me, to finally live this dream right here, right now with you people, it's worth $160. To me, anyways. I don't regret it at all. I can always use the Elgato to capture other games on Virtual Console and, you know, on PS4 and Wii U and Wii and stuff. You know, I definitely want to do other Castlevania games. I already got the Adventure Rebirth. And I mean, there's so many fucking great things you can do, man. I love that I can capture console stuff for you guys now, even though I'm looking like an asshole out here waving out to the public and barely anybody is watching. It brings me so much joy to be able to play these great games for you, for anybody watching, to the audience void if need be. I don't give a fudge. I'm trying to say the F word less. It's a bit of a crutch. But I don't care if I'm screaming at the heavens and nobody's listening, man. I am radiantly happy to be playing these amazing games and recording them for nobody else but my own joy. You know how much I love boomerangs. But the boomerang in this, I have a bit of an issue with. I must not be doing something right. Because, like, I'm going to shut up. Look at this. This is beautiful design. Just beautiful, man. Oh my god, the music, the freaking sound. And, you know, the fact that he's in there in the background, you don't even see him at first. Beautiful. Now, if I had a boomerang, this would be a much harder fight. Holy water is like the way to go for this dude, man. Especially if you can afford a couple of the mega fires. Ugh. Eat him up for lunch, dude. Eat him up for lunch. But he's a badass werewolf. I mean, I couldn't. And here's another cool thing. Another cool thing that I haven't seen any other game in this series do. At least not that I've noticed. Maybe I'm stupid. Probably. But every boss in this game so far takes one last hit at you as they die. Now, it won't kill you. It won't kill you. Because I've been on death's door numerous times and beaten the boss, and they do one last sneaky little freak attack at you, and it doesn't kill you. It hurts, you know, but it takes you right to death's door, but it won't kill you. It's a very nice effect, man, you know, because you're scared. You get the dick and scared out of your ass. And, you know, these dudes, they're sitting there twirling their pikes around, or their lances. Yeah, they're not pikes, they're lances. And nothing you can do is going to get through that spinning pike. You know, it's going to deflect projectiles. Your whip won't hurt them. You know, so just watch out. You'll notice this game has no timer. So, don't be afraid to explore. Don't be afraid to play the waiting game, okay? Now, you're going to find in a couple candles here and there a key, alright? You know, just reading up on this as I'm playing, in the levels throughout, there are various girls and women that have been captured by Dracula and hidden away behind secret doors. Now, I found keys, and I haven't found any of the doors yet, so I always, the key takes your sub-weapon slot, so I've just switched it out for a sub-weapon. But you can actually play as Maria Renard from, you'll remember her from Symphony of the Night. She was she was the secondary character instead of value card that you could unlock. And I think she was available to play from the beginning on the Saturn, but she was in the PlayStation version as well. Anyway, she's a little girl in this, and you can totally unlock her, which I'm gonna have to do a playthrough again with her as the main character, because that would be awesome. You know, her enemies, or her attacks, are all like cute little fuzzy animal based, and like all the menus are changed up to have like flowers and kitty cats and rainbows and unicorn farts and whatnot. Yeah, look at this beautiful church. You know, of course we've seen churches before in Super Nintendo games and Nintendo games, and we've seen the occasional cross, I think, on Nintendo hardware as well. But you know, they don't like to do that. As you know, Nintendo at the time was not a fan of religious symbology. Even the stopwatch in this game is awesome. Like I said, this game is so fucking packed with little touches and charm and wit, and it's like fine art, man. It's beautiful in every way. You know, I can't even get too mad at Medusa heads. Yeah, but you'll see, you think, oh shit, I'm gonna die, and then boom. Whole different area. It's crazy. This is really the precursor to Symphony of the Night. You know, this is not point A to point B, you know, the quickest way between 2 points is a straight line gameplay. No, it's not. don't be scared if you go off the beaten path. I am a fan of the Bible. That's a good weapon, you know. And, you know, it's like, I generally like shorter experiences. I don't like doing series of videos because I think people maybe get bored. I'm not the most charismatic YouTuber yet. I'm still working on that. But for this, man, I'm gonna upload it as I play it. You know, I'm just doing the first 3 stages. I'm just in love, man. I can barely conceal my joy. I'm not trying to like gush, but wow. I love Castlevania and I love this, and it's a damn shame that this came out on a system that didn't take off in the West. You know, I'm sure I don't probably need to tell you nerds. In Japan, NEC shit, the TurboGrafx or the PC Engine and the PC Engine CD were huge, and they rivaled Nintendo and Sega, you know, and I'm not really quite sure what happened there, why they didn't take off in the West. I guess just some boneheaded advertising decisions and just not applying the right amount of resources, because I've been fascinated by the TG16 ever since I first saw it. You know, when I first saw those pictures of legendary acts in video games and computer entertainment, and ever since then I've wanted to own one. And, you know, just, it's another, you know, like this, it's a system that's full of charm and has some really great classics. I want to get more into the oeuvre of the TG16. Oh, sorry. I feel like I'm like radiant looking at this. It's a harsh mistress, the Castlevania series. You know, with one hand she gives, and with the other she takes. She's cruel. I usually don't like to go with holy water, but as you saw with the werewolf boss in this game, sometimes, baby, it's the only way to fly. And that's so cool, you know, you're not always just going to find the candles in this game. You know, sometimes you get lamps covered in moths. It's quite a little touch. They didn't have to do that, and nobody ever would have been like, man, I'm tired of slashing candles. It really shows the level of love that went into this game. I really can't wait for my Hardcore Gaming 101 Castlevania book to come in. They discuss and they review every entry in the series, and you know, they just talk about the series as a whole. I only regret that there was no hardcover edition. One of the nice things Amazon does is when you I'm just using my mouse here to see how much longer. Okay. One of the nice things Amazon does is they give you an ebook version to enjoy while you're waiting for your physical copy to ship. But I'm not a big fan of ebooks. I should be, because I live my life digitally, you know, for most things. I don't like physical media. I want to be able to carry something around on my phone, you know. But look at that skeleton. They didn't have to do that. There was no point. It's just awesome little atmosphere stuff. But I'm not even going to touch the ebook of the Hardcore Gaming 101 Castlevania book, because I want to sit there and I want to enjoy a physical product. I want to feel the paper. I want to like look at it, you know. So we got a boss coming up here. A really memorable boss. A Minotaur. And again, you know, his bark is worse than his bite. Back to the boomerang. You know, it's like sometimes you'll throw it and it'll just go like directly in front of him, and it's not the greatest weapon in the world, but I've always loved the Ultra attack ever since Symphony of the Night when I first saw it. You know, you got that giant cross that shows up, man. You know, if you're a fan of my stuff, you know I'm a huge fan of vampire hunters. You know, Van Helsing is my favorite literary character, right next to Milton's Lucifer. You know, Milton's Satan. And, you know, to have that giant cross appear and, you know, fight the agents of evil and darkness, it's badass. And look at this awesome, you know, like I said, he's not that bad, and he's a cool fight. Guys, thank you very much for joining me on this journey. I am so in love with this game, Rondo of Blood. Please stick with it, man. We got an awesome time ahead of us. Your buddy Horseticuffs signing off.